Hey guys, Darren at Mounts Customs again. Gonna do this video this week for you. What I'm gonna do first is we're gonna hop on this little buggy and take a trip around here a little more farther out along the fence line so you can see how big this area is. Like I said, we're gonna try to do, besides our annual car show, we're gonna do our open house first. It's probably gonna be in spring, but then I'm gonna also try to do a Friday night cruise-in every month, maybe first or third Friday. And it's going to be open to anybody, not just Volkswagens. But anyways, I'll show you kind of what the grounds look like, and we'll walk through the shop, see what's going on in the shop. Here we go. So this open grass area in front will be pretty good for our cruise in and also for the car show. We got several areas to be able to park cars for the car show. This is one that's pretty nice and level and grassy area. Be able to pick quite a bit of cars in this little area alone. Over in this area on the other side of the fence, there's quite a big grass area here. It's on the side of the building, so I'll show you that. You can pick quite a bit of cars in here too. Like I said, the property line actually goes way back to that tree line back there. We put this fence up here. We got about 6-8 acres inside the fence. We have that area back there featured. There's 36 acres. They're going to farm it right now though. Started kind of a boneyard. We've got a couple of beetles, a fastback, and a squareback that we use for parts out here. Started out here in the corner so that I can move things closer as we need them. This whole side area here is pretty big too. I need to mow the grass, but it's a pretty good little area. Also another area we can park cars. This side area here is another entrance, so this entrance will be on the left side of the building. Come around, you can actually drive all the way around the building if we opened up this entrance, so that'd be good and useful during those car show days and stuff like that. Got a pretty good little area on the side of the building here. So some of these cars out here are just my extra cars I got laying around for parts and pieces. And then some are customer projects. This little pan here is off the Zwitter, 52 Zwitter. So this is the OG original pan. And the client wants us to take this pan and put it back original, all stock 52. So we'll do that. And there's obviously some things you don't see on other cars. and we'll go back and get this guy all back to the way it was in 52. So we got a lot of our parts over here, fenders, doors, hoods, a couple other cars here I wanted to show you over here. I kind of highlighted it one time in one of our videos, but I want to go over a little bit more. This little shed here we're going to use as our core motor and transmission room. So it's got a good little rack system in there, so we could put all of our motor cores and transmission cores in here. We've got several already going on, obviously, as you can see. So little Type 3 front end there. But anyways, this would be a good little area to keep all that stuff, keep it out of the weather, so that's good. Come back around here. We'll go through the shop now, show you kind of what's going on here. We'll walk out front first. Let's go around here. We're actually mounting another motor rack on outside here. What we do is on our test stands, we test our motors and stuff and do all our valve adjustments, all that stuff. When we tear a motor down to clean it up, we were having to use the test stand. But now we're going to put this out here so we can just put the motor on this rack, tear it down, and completely rebuild it on there, then put it back on the test stand. So we're kind of doing that out here. So we can just bring the motor out here now. Set it here where we're on good days, obviously. I'll probably put a canopy over this anyways though soon, but that way we can put the motor right there. And break it down and clean it up. And we'll put all new seals and gaskets on it and all that. But this is our test stand. So little test stand makes it easy so that you can, it's nothing fancy, but it works. It's something so we can just go ahead and put our motors on there and get them running. It's a motor out of the car. But anyways, it makes it easier because we put it on here, so your valve covers are right here, so we can adjust the valve sitting there. And then we used to tear it down completely on there, but then it would tie up the test stand. So now we can take the motor out there, tear it down, we put all new seals, gaskets, all that stuff out there, clean the tins, paint or put new tins on it, put the motor back together out there, and then we can come here and put it on the test stand and run it again and do all that. So that's pretty cool to have, pretty cool little tool. We'll walk out here now and see what we got going on the car side. We're still moving in, so we got stuff everywhere. It'll probably be like that for a year or so, I bet, or more. Anyways, out here, a little Coke Bug. If you all remember Coke Bug, he went up to Lincoln County, Tennessee Fair, the big county fair there, and he won an award up there at a little car show that Voodoo Customs puts on, and they he actually won their choice. So the Voodoo Customs Employee's Choice, Lincoln County Fair 2023. Cool little pin. Voodoo Customs does a bunch of cool custom jobs up there. They're up there in Lincoln County, Tennessee. So, but anyways, this is pretty cool. He went up there and won him a little award. I liked it. Over here, we've got this 72 Super that we've been talking about and working on, and we finally got him done. So he's, we lowered him, put adjustable front end on it, put the Nerf bars on there, all LED lights all the way around. Got these Smitty Smoothies built by Smitty. Put them on there now and got the rings, got it all adjusted to height the way the customer wants it. That's pretty much as low as you're going to go with a Super Beetle without doing drastic changes, but it looks pretty cool. Did a little bit of here and there, and it's a cool looking little Super Beetle. This one next to it's a local customer. We're just doing some mechanical work. We got a couple of little tinkering things, and then it'll be ready to go home. We'll walk in here and see what else we got going on. We got the 60 Beetle here that had one Bug-a-Palooza, and heat came in. Obviously, you remember seeing in some of the other videos for a transaxle. So we'll put a synchro transaxle in it, and it's all up and running again. We've got to put a choke cable in him, which is real fun, but we're going to do that, and then he'll be all done. We got this other 72 Super that's going to be sold, I think, now. We're not positive on how that's going to work, but anyways, it's almost done there. A couple of things. We've got the 52 Zwitter that we're finishing up. There's going to be some paint corrections going back, a few little things here and there. Client came in and saw the car and gave a couple other changes that he wants to do now to it. But you know, it's a real 52 Zwitter. And it's got a 1914 in it. This Stinger, you can see a couple of little other things. There's a couple things. We had a linkage problem with the carburetor, so we're having to get another linkage for it. It has LEDs all around with working semaphores, so semaphores are working, and there they are. So that's pretty cool. Got them working with the car, so that's pretty neat. It does have an original dash in there, so that would be a 53 dash. So the Zwitter 52, 53, you could have got a 52 dash in it with a split oval dash or an oval dash, depending on what they had when they took it off the shelf. So anyways, that car's well underway there. We've got a convertible top in process over here on this one. Headliner going in. New wooden bows, new front bow. You know, you put these new with the wooden rots out all the time, so there's a lot going on that one. These little bumpers over here. We had our bus over here, the 72 bus over there. Had a dented bumper, so he brought a new bumper in, and then we color matched the other bumper and got it. The front bumper was dented, so we got a new front bumper, color matched the rear bumper. And that's, if you remember that bus over here, little bay window, it had a really oxidized paint. So instead of painting it, I asked the customer to let me try to buff it out, and we did, and it looks really good. There's some rust spots, so we fixed those. They were in here real bad near the window area like they usually do. Got those all welded in and got it all blended in with the paint. So we'll go back through and buff this out again. Put all new emblems and side trim on it. It's getting a whole new interior. It's got a new tranny coming. We're sprucing up the motor. We'll put some new wheels on there, or maybe paint these ones, I'm not sure. But it has all new suspension under there. We'll go inside this interior. It's going to be a complete new interior in there, so that'd be pretty cool. So be looking for this one. We'll get that one back around. This one right here has got a top going on it, so it's underway. We had some problems with the frame like they always do, so we've got to get a couple pins and a header bow, stuff like that. But this top's underway on this one. We need to hurry up and try to get that one done. It's supposed to be in a parade soon, so we're going to try to get that done. This car here has been here for a while. It's almost done. We got some window problems. Some of these Super Eagles are real fun, but we're getting that worked out, and that one will be ready to go home soon. The matching crimson one over here, we can put a new top on it. It's done, but it's has some wiring issues, so we're working through that. It came to us with wiring issues. We're going to get it figured out. The 62 original vert, only thing left to do on it is find a wiper motor, and that's fun on some of these early Beetles. So we're trying to find that. Other than that, I want to be done. Still have a bunch of pans over here, chassis waiting on their bodies to get done. You'll see those in a minute. Motors sitting around here waiting to go in. And we got a lot of that going on. This is the 65 Beetle, if you remember, from Fayetteville, Tennessee. Lady brought it into us. It was her father's, I believe, or grandfather's maybe. But anyways, he was the original owner. It got flooded, and so we're getting it all back ready to go on the road. The chassis is all going to be completely rebuilt, but I told her, hey, instead of wasting money on paint, because she had a budget, I said, why don't we keep this original paint clear over it? I said, there's people that pay good money for that, and this is real. We didn't make it look like this. It looks like this. So she liked the idea, so we did it, and it's in the process of that now. But I mean, it's a patina car, and I think it'd be cool. She just wants to drive it. She's not trying to take it to show, so I think it's going to be a really cool looking car when we get done with it. So we're doing that. We look forward to that one getting done. The square backs over here, it's kind of in a holding pattern. We got some wheel fitment issues we're working on, but we're going to get through that, and then it will accelerate pretty quick after that, because we're about to be, once we get that wheel fitting stuff done here, then we'll be able to get going and put the body back on the chassis, and from there it should take off. There's a lot of cool little elements going into this guy when he gets built. Red gauges and all kinds of some cool ride custom shifter and pedal sets, and just some cool little stuff going on that. So when we get that one going, that'd be pretty cool. So our other project, the Meacham car, we call it. Customer bought it at Meacham, and we're going to do some upgrades on it. Going to put a new adjustable narrow beam on it, some new tires and wheels, disc brakes all the way around, and several other things. But be looking for that. Whole new interior. So we'll be change that one. This one here is just waiting on a transmission. It's been with us for a while, a little 70 standard Beetle. So transmission being built for it, it'll come in and that one will be done. We do swap out a lot of them, so we'll see how that goes on that. The Razor is underway, and it's a fun thing to find parts for it. So the interior is being made for it. It was in the hold, I guess, for a while between the other shop and here, so now we've got that underway. When we get that in, the first thing we're gonna do now that the top's painted is put the headliner in and put all that expensive glass back in, because I hate having it on the shelf wondering if something's gonna happen to it. But 66 Type 34 underway. So we'll go over to the other side real quick and we'll try to wrap this up for y'all. On this side over here, oh, the thing that you guys have been following us on, that's going to be a camo wrap. That's actually the camo there. That was a test store. It's out getting wrapped right now. So it came back from the paint shop after a bunch of body work, and it's out there getting wrapped. So we'll see it soon. That'd be cool. And here we have a slew of Gia pans next to each other. All three of these ones have gotten pans. This is the 58 low light. And it got spruced up and getting all new cables and stuff like that. This one had to get new pans, 74, getting all new brake lines and new cables and disc brake kits in the front and shocks and having the beam rebuilt and tie rods and everything like that. So we do that to most of these cars. Put in the bigger sway bars, 3/4 inch, set a little 3/8. Either rebuild the kingpins, put in new tie rods, you know, all new brakes. Same thing over here. So this is a Beetle here, getting all new brakes done on it, sway bar, ball joints, all new from the master cylinder out, hard lines and soft lines. This had to get new pans. We put the pans in. We use Kill Mat for a sound deadening and heat resistant. But this one here is getting all new line stuff. Not a full complete rebuild because it's keeping the original transaxle, which is still good. Put a new starter on it. But anyways, it's well underway. This is its body over here. Same thing, it's not getting painted. This one isn't, but we're going to buff out that paint. Hopefully it comes out okay. Put some interior in it and we'll be ready to go back in there. Here's our low light Gia. 58 low light Gia that came to us, and it got back from blast and it's in sealer now. Not real bad, but it has some issues. The front nose was obviously replaced at one point, but you see how much damage around those low lights, and they're hard to find, so we're gonna have to just work through that. But the nose is was replaced once, you can see, so we'll have a little bit of metal work. But overall, for a 58 low light Gia convertible, not really bad. The whole tray back here was good. There was really no holes in it at all. The heater channels and the Napoleon hat and everything are good. The dash is good, so we're really kind of happy with this one. Even around the tail lights, the whole apron, everything's good, so not a lot of problems there on that one. I'll show you, we got this Gia over here. We're going to be having a, it's not a full rebuild either, but we do have a lot of metal problems on this one. So, you know, you can see where you start seeing the metal rust problems. We started taking it apart, but there's some Bondo issues here. I'm going to show you another Gia in a minute that we came back from blast. So you look at this car, and besides the obvious areas like those there, or this area here, which are Bondo real big, or where you see ripple and paint like that, but you see how kind of straight the paint looks right here and the fender looks right here. So I'm going to show you again in a minute. It'll look just like that until it got blasted. So this is the pan for that one, and it's got to obviously get new pans. They were rusted below, beneath the seat. I don't even know how the seat stayed in it, but we take these all the way down, put new pans in it, rebuild the beam, put all new lines in it. She's keeping engine and transmission in this one. They were fine, so not a full rebuild. If you remember the convertible here, we had to build a frame in it because we had to replace both heater channels and supports. So when we did that, we replaced both heater channels on both sides and the supports underneath it, the inner fenders. So when you do that, that's basically two pieces of a car then. So we had to put our jigs in here that hold the space different here, take a bunch of measurements. But I was pretty happy with it because after that, just dry testing it, hanging the door without any adjustments, this is how the door was closing. So pretty good for doing all that metal work. And that's a pretty good fitment on the door without any adjustments. Now we can adjust that and get it perfect just about. But that's pretty cool for a convertible to go through. But here at the shop, I like to go and dry fit everything. So we dry fit all the fenders. Once we do the metal work, dry fit the deck lid, dry fit the doors like I said, and the hood. And it's just a better way to do it. Same thing as Beetle. This is a 67 Beetle. We had to do a whole bunch of body work on. The car was completely cut in half before we got to us. Put heater channels in, inner fender wells, stuff like that, luggage trays. And so after all that, just singing the door, this is what we've got. The door closes pretty decently right there. I mean, not a lot of problems. So that's a good start. So we can go in and do what we need to do from there and get it perfect. Same thing, we dry hang the fenders. It takes a little while and a little longer, but you know what? If we can fit all this stuff before it goes, like I was saying, if we can dry fit all this stuff before it goes into final bodywork and paint, then it's a lot better off. We don't have to mess with the car when it's painted already. So that's really the way you want to do it, is get all this stuff on, fitted, working. And if you get it all fitting and working and moving around and everything and going where it needs to be, before you paint it, then that's good. And then you take the car back apart. So basically I have to take it apart twice, but that's well worth it. The thing here, this is a 73 thing. You've been following this. It's done with rough metal and really in a holding pattern, getting some body work, and then it's going to go to paint. So it's kind of in a line for the paint shop, but it's going back original orange thing. This gear here, 71 gear, it's all ready for paint. It's going to go in the paint shop next, I believe. We just got this car in. It's a family car, 64 original Beetle, original owners. It's a family owned car. The dad bought it. All the kids learned how to drive in it over the years. It's a New Jersey car, came from New Jersey, original interior, everything like that. So we're going to take this guy apart and put him back stock, but new. And so this is going to be a fun little one. 64 garage kept and everything like that. I said so. Here's our Westphalia we've been working on. If you've been following us, we're waiting on a motor on this one, but we are going to be putting a new top on it, fixing the pop top. Be the next part of this project. It has a lot of holes. At first I was like, why are we changing? But now I see we got a lot of holes and rips and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and do that and do some upgrades in the interior and take care of the top and get that going on. While that's going on, we got a motor on order, and then we'll be doing all the brake upgrades and new front end and all that stuff and getting all that mechanical stuff done for him. We're up in the air still on paint. They don't want to spend a bunch of money on paint, so if we can buff this out, but there's some things with it we're not sure. We're going to pull all the windows out and replace all the window seals because they're kind of really dry rotted and trash. So you can see where they're dry rotted real bad. And just so we're going to go ahead and replace all the window seals and stuff like that. So, but here's this gear I was telling you about. This gear looked decent. It went to blast, and look what we got when it came back. There's really not a place on it that's not just rippled all, and it had pounds and pounds and pounds of filler on it. So I mean, look at the seam job there. The whole front end clip had been replaced badly. It doesn't even fit really right. So we've got a lot of problems. There's just wrinkles and ripples everywhere in this metal. You got lead in the car. It's just not good at all. Holes and wrinkles everywhere. If you look around it, it's just a bunch of places where, I mean, look at all the wrinkles. That's not paint, that's wrinkles in it. And it's just, this is bare metal. So this is what can happen when you go and send a car out and have it blasted and it comes back, even though it looked good before and you're like, oh, it's not too many problems. This is what happens. This was all hidden, some real weird welding jobs on it, not really good at all, not fitting right, some patch pieces there. So we're going to have to make decisions on this car with the owner, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah, not real good at all. So I wanted to show you all an example of how bad it can go when you get a car blasted. Even though you think it was good, this is what can happen. And it's just, I mean, it's just really bad. Really bad. I mean, I just don't know. So we have to make some decisions here and decide how we're going to go back. We don't like using filler here, so I'm not just going to fill over this again. And you know, there's some usual spots that are usually rusty. Luggage tray, normal in a convertible, rust out. Replace them easy. And funny thing is, in here the heater channels aren't really too bad. The pulling hat's not too bad. The bulkheads are, that's normal too, but it's just weird areas. Like this car's been in several wrecks. So anyways, we've got to figure out what we're going to do there. The little parts aren't bad. The hood and the deck lid and the doors are pretty straight, not too bad. But anyway, so that's what can happen. And that's a good example just of what goes real bad. It didn't look like it was real bad. So when I say, you know, I call sometimes, people call and I talk to them and they're like, well, how much is it to, you know, paint the car? Well, this is what happens. So this car, like I said, was smooth. It looked great. The paint was painted. It was just faded. And we were going to do new paint. When you blast it, this is what happens. This changes from it just blasting a car, putting sealer on it, sanding it a little bit on it, priming it, and painting it to this. This is going to be hours and hours and hours of metal work, rough metal work, followed by hours and hours of body work before you can be ready for paint. So anyways, without beating the dead horse there, that's how it goes on some of this stuff. So that's kind of what's going on in the shop this week. We do have another car show. We have a car show after car show. We do have another car show come up here in Alabama at Sharon Johnson Park, Friends of Sharon Johnson here in Newmarket, Alabama on the 14th of this month, Saturday. It's 1, 2, 4 or 5, I believe. So that'll be the next one we're at. Look on our website. But if you will, please go on our website, sign up for our mailing list, because when I do our open house, our car shows, or the cruise-ins, that's the way I can get a hold of you, so I can have our office send emails out when we're going to do any of our events or anything that's happening here. So please take the time to do that for us. Go to our YouTube videos, watch the YouTube videos, and like, subscribe that, please, and go to Facebook and follow us there also. But anywhere you can, I appreciate it. We do have a new shop phone number, so it's 256-509-7287. That's 256-509-7287. That's the way you can get a hold of me now. Still haven't found my cell phone, don't know where it's at. Or get a hold of us on the website, mountscustoms.com. I appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Thank you.